California man screams, "I can't breathe," before death. A Southern California man died nearly 2 years ago as he screamed, "I can't breathe," while multiple officers restrained him as they tried to take a blood sample. Now, this was nearly 2 years ago as he screamed, "I can't breathe." And they were trying to take a blood sample of him, and this is according to records and a video. Edward Bronstein, who was 38 years old at the time, was taken into custody by California Highway Patrol officers on March 31st, 2020. So it's almost 2 years ago. The end of this month will be 2 years. Following a traffic stop, Bronstein died less than 2 months before George Floyd was killed by police in Minneapolis, as he too repeatedly told officers, "I can't breathe." A nearly 18-minute video taken by a CHP sergeant at the Altadena station was released Tuesday after a judge's order to make it public. They weren't even going to make it public, and this happened before George Floyd. Can you imagine that happened before George Floyd? Mm. Bronstein's family has filed a federal lawsuit against the officers alleging excessive force and a violation of civil rights. The family is also calling for the officers to be criminally charged by the Los Angeles County District Attorney. The LA County Coroner's Office ruled Bronstein's cause of death as acute methamphetamine intoxication during restraint by law enforcement. A copy of the autopsy report was not immediately available. When the nation was in an uproar over the George Floyd tragedy, we had no idea this had also happened to Mr. Bronstein, said Luis Carrillo, an attorney for Bronstein's family. A spokesperson for the LA County District Attorney's Office said the matter remains under review. The state attorney's general office is representing the Highway Patrol in the federal lawsuit and referred media inquiries to CHP. Officer Chanel Gonzalez, a spokesperson for CHP, said the agency is declining to comment on the case because of the pending litigation. Now, Governor Gavin Newsom in September 2021 signed a law barring police from using certain face-down holds that have led to multiple unintended deaths. The law was passed after Bronstein's death and was aimed at expanding on the state's ban on chokeholds in the wake of Floyd's murder. Family members say Bronstein was terrified of needles and believe that's why he was reluctant to comply with the CHP initially as they tried to take a blood sample. In the video, an officer tells Bronstein they have a court order, an assertion that Carrillo doubts was true. A court order to take blood when you pull somebody over for a traffic stop? I've never heard of that before. An officer tells Bronstein to take a seat for the sample. This is your last opportunity. Otherwise, you're going face down on the mat, and we're going to keep on going. Several officers force the handcuffs man to the mat as he shouts, "I'll do it willingly. I'll do it willingly. I promise." The video shows at least 5 officers continue to hold him down. The lawsuit alleges they put their knees on his back as he screams, "I'll do it. I'll do it. I promise." One officer replies, "It's too late." Bronstein begins screaming, "I can't breathe," and "I can't," before the blood is taken, shouting it about 8 times and pleading for help as the officers continue to restrain him on the ground. "Stop yelling," an officer yells back. Bronstein's screams get softer and he soon falls silent. Even though he's not responsive, a medical professional continues to draw blood as the officers hold him down. They note he may not have it. They note he may not have a pulse and does not appear to be breathing. The officers and the medical professionals slap Bronstein's face, saying, "Edward, wake up." More than 11 minutes after Bronstein's last screams, they begin CPR. A second video, more than 12 minutes long, shows the officers and paramedics' unsuccessful attempts to revive Bronstein. One officer tells the paramedics that Bronstein had been complaining of shortness of breath. "When we rolled him back over, he was turning blue," he said. Soon after, someone reminds the group, "Everybody's on camera." Mm, 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 mm. You know, they do need to be held accountable. They really do. Because if he was saying he would do it willingly, and he said he couldn't breathe. And one officer told him it was too late. One of them told him to stop yelling. Wow. They didn't give him CPR until 11 minutes later. Mm. But he told him that he couldn't breathe about 8 times and pleading for help as the officer continued to restrain him on the ground. It doesn't matter if there wasn't a law in place and the bill was passed after the fact. He told you he couldn't breathe. And I'm glad this came out. It came out after the fact, but it's out. And these officers do need to be held accountable. They just do. I don't care about no law coming out after the fact. The man told you he couldn't breathe. And that is excessive force. It's excessive force. And people just get in their emotional feelings, and this emotional adrenaline starts running, and people just don't know how to step back. This man obviously wasn't no threat like that. And if he can't breathe, he can't breathe. I just don't get it. You know, I don't believe that officers are supposed to be killing people unless it's a reason for it. I don't believe in killing, but unless it's your life is truly in danger. But with all these officers out there, y'all killed this man. That's what this article is saying, allegedly. You killed this man. He told you he couldn't breathe. And y'all was going to see to it that he couldn't breathe. And you saw to it that he couldn't breathe. So rest in peace to Bronstein. Condolences to the family. And I hope that you truly get the justice that you are seeking. And it's not just about money. It's about them being held accountable, made charged, incarcerated, jail time, prison time, whatever it's going to take. Because these officers need to stop putting these knees on people's throats and all of that where they can't breathe. And the man told you 8 times that he couldn't breathe, and he screamed it as loud as he could. And y'all didn't stop the help, and then you waited 11 minutes before you started CPR. Not good. It's not looking good. It really isn't. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think of this video. It just never it never stops, huh? It never ceases to amaze me what we are going to read about next. And this is not the first time. So and hopefully we won't hear no more about it, but this is something that happened in 2020. Yes, something that happened in 2020. So God bless you all on today. Peace out.